What's up, everyone? Good night. That's funny. Um, why am I wearing my jacket? That's a good question. It's I don't know. I was cold. I actually had Tom get some sleep. I actually took a nap. I actually fell asleep for the last 2 hours or so. I was sitting on the couch and um, yeah. So I thought I'm gonna go on and I need to play some music and everything and test some stuff. I want to test some stuff and see if it gets banned or not. So I hope you don't mind. I feel great. Um, have I ever met the guys from Seven Dust? Absolutely. Matter of fact, Clint has been here in my studio. I've known Clint for years and years. I know Morgan, the drummer, and LeJean from. I've met them a few times, but Clint I know pretty well. And I worked with his other band, Dark New Day, that I produced some stuff with and recorded some stuff right here in the studio. So, funny story when Dylan was a baby. Clint was over here working on some stuff, and I brought Dylan down to meet Clint, and Dylan started crying when he saw him, and Clint felt so bad. Any of you that know Seven Dust, um, and Clint's the nicest guy in the world, but he can be pretty scary looking. And Dylan just started crying, and he's just like, "Oh man, I didn't," I was like, "What's up, Clint? You scared him." Anyways, so yeah, there's my Seven Dust story or my Clint Lowry story. His brother Corey was actually here. Brother Corey's played in a lot of bands, and we've been friends for years too. And Corey was here not too long ago, probably about a month ago or so. Um, let's see here. You were just watching the video of the Riles gig with me and Aiden and Vinny. Let's see. Thoughts on Snarky Puppy. Love Snarky Puppy. Interviewed Mark Lettieri here on my channel for Sounding Off. And I love Mark. He's a great guy. And I mean, they're all great players. I'd like to get Michael to come in and interview him as well. Dark New Day. Great voice on Brent. Yeah, they're great. Those guys are great guys. And yeah, it's oh boy, I think that they were here. I want to say 2006 or something like that. I don't even remember. It's been so many years. No, probably after that. I have no idea, honestly, when Dark New Day was here. I can't remember. Um, what's up, Steve? Thank you very much. So I'm wondering why. So I put out my video tonight, and it doesn't really get very many views. And this is that's like a normal Rick video there. That's old school Rick video. And I don't understand why. That's more of a high information video, I think. But they don't do as well. I don't know why. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. Uh, the, um, yeah. Dumbed down for more attention. Um, Well, I've done videos like that here on this channel. I mean, where I've actually done it live and talked about it. But And it's not, I don't think it's the time of day, Larry. It's um, probably the title. Um, but people that watch my channel, videos like that have more information. For people that want to understand improvisation, it was incredibly straightforward, and I had the notation in with it. Even though Carol was getting frustrated because I kept playing different things, so I couldn't remember exactly what I played. But that is really that is to me is straightforward of an improvisational video, instructional video, as you possibly could have. I think if I had somebody play that, I don't mean this egotistically. If I was 18 and I saw that, I would have learned. I would have advanced dramatically faster in my with my improvising. I distilled so much. I've distilled so many ideas, and it's not about holiday weekend because there's people from all over the world that watch the videos. So really, there's nothing about holidays or anything. It's not the time of day. There is really no time of day for my videos since I release my videos anytime. You're 18 and you liked it. There you go. Cass, nice. I like that. Tommy, you almost clicked on it. So yeah, that's I'm puzzled by that. I'm really puzzled. Because I've got plans for these film scoring videos and things that are much more high information than that even. And those complex chords are not used in ukulele. Those are actually not complex chords. That was pretty. That's one of the most basic chord progressions there. It's almost like a minor blue bossa is almost like a minor blues. That's as simple of a tune as possible. There are videos on YouTube that are jazz videos that have hundreds of thousands of views. So it's this is the thing. People will look at a Rush song or they'll look at a Tool song and they'll think that that is really complex. But it's incredibly simple. So it's over most people's heads. Well, how do they even know? How do they even know if it's over their heads if they don't click on it? And George, your audience will find you. My audience, 300,000 people have found me. I'm not worried about people finding me. So I usually do not watch them. You live only in the last few weeks. Normally busy doing other stuff, but I did watch. Tyler, it's a high density videos that hooked you personally. Maybe the difference between songwriters and composers versus improvisers in your audience. Well, the thing is that see, there's very little theory in the. There's almost no theory in that video. Other than, I mean, I'm talking about triads and neighbor tones for the most part. There's, I mean, almost no. There's nothing complex about the video that I did. It's not. I mean, I do a video on the double harmonic major scale, and it gets 450,000 views. It's as if the same as why 300,000 people have not signed in the forum. Well, the reason 300 people haven't signed in, Ron, is because I don't talk about the forum all the time. And I don't talk about the forum because I don't want 300,000 people to be on the forum, to be honest with you. And Tom is right. It's one of my simpler videos. It's not any crazy, nothing crazy about it. Nothing crazy. When I played the opening tune here, this is this Lydian augmented prelude here. And this piece here, I'll play some more of it. This is actually from one of my videos. This is from one of my videos right here. This is from my double harmonic major video. Okay, the video that had that piece in it has 450,000 views. It's my biggest high information video that I have, okay? It's far more complex than the video that I did tonight. Now, I did name it the darkest scale ever. So I'm the guy that writes this stuff. Yeah, like everything I play, you guys realize that everything I play on the beginning of these things, everything in here that's on my record are from my videos. All my, demonstration pieces. I saw the difference. What's the difference between a neighbor tone and wait, what was it? What was the thing? And I put simple in the title too, by the way, right? What was that question? Neighbor tones, scale tones. Is that what it is? Between passing tones and neighbor tones. Passing tones connect to scale tones. Neighbor tones typically imply that they go to the neighbor tone and back to the chord tone. I mean, that's how I was using it in the context tonight. That's a neighboring tone. But I mean, they can be the same thing. What's the stats on before and after I did What Makes This Song Great? Before I had 200 and something thousand subscribers, and then I got up to 300,000. So before I did What Makes This Song Great, I already had 200,000 subscribers. So it's not like it's, it's not like it's been a, it's made my channel, get a lot of subscribers in the last 2 months or so. Double harmonic major scale is bedazzling. Simple soloing isn't as exciting. I guess the chunk bass wants to be wowed more than they actually want to go practice what you're demoing. Maybe not. Maybe it's more of a clickbait title, Subi says. But that video got picked up on Reddit, and that the one, the double harmonic major scale, and got We Are the Music Makers. People promoted my videos over on Reddit. I said this months and months ago that if people wanted to help my channel, they could go and put them put my videos up on Reddit or whatever, share them on those things. That's because Reddit really drives YouTube. Now, obviously, I haven't had a problem with people being driven to my channel, but it's for the... Subi, your solo sucks unless you do this. Okay, if I changed the title to that right now, I don't think I have jazz in the title, do I? Maybe I do. Let me see here. Hold on. I'm gonna do an experiment here. Hold on. Let me see. Your solos. Did I say jazz in it? Maybe I did say jazz, and that's the problem. Let's see here. Yes, I have jazz in the title. Okay, well, obviously that's a strike against it. Don't click this. You can make significant improvement. Okay, more. That's a little too long. That's it. Okay, wait. Don't click this. Okay. Okay. If I change this, do I look at my analytics and Creator Studio? Of course, yes. Okay, don't click this. Click to shred. What's up, SB? Cats dancing. Oh, nice to have a real title. Find it later for reference. They will be there forever. Wait. Don't click this. 99% won't click. There's 500,000. Click this. Click at your peril. SB, you didn't get the mail for the new Beato book. Oh, send me an email about it. Send to my Gmail. Click on this if you hate jazz. Okay. I'm gonna experiment, and as seen on TV, sometimes it works. Click this if you hate jazz. Okay, I'm literally going to Jari, 999,999 views. Okay, click this if you hate jazz. Okay, I'm gonna actually change it right now. We're gonna do a little experiment. The secrets of souling. Man, I should have just come in here. I should have come on here and just said, okay, here is the this is how do I get a great title here? Okay, click this if you hate jazz. I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna redo it right now. I'm redoing my thumbnail right now. Okay. Let's see here. Here we go. This is pretty hilarious. Click this if you hate. Then I'll do jazz like this. Okay, there we go. Oh man, this is great. Yep, here we go. I got my thumbnail. Click this if you hate jazz. Okay, I've made my thumbnail. Or get an insta ban. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm changing it right now. Well, it's got 2,000 views in 3 hours. Maybe that's not bad. Maybe it's not bad. I'm just going to change the thumbnail, though, okay? I'm going to change the thumbnail on it. Let's see if I can do it here. Actually, I'm not sure I can be logged into both accounts at the same time. I'm going to click it afterwards. Okay, somebody start a Beato clickbait title thread on the, in all seriousness, start a clickbait title. I can never think of clickbait titles. Click this if you hate jazz. Thumbnail of rigged jazz hands. Oh, man. Robert, you actually think the double harmonic major was? Yes. Don't look at this ever. Please put these on. Well, I guess they all stay with the chat now, so you can put it. You can keep it in the chat here. Man, how to level the playing field. These are great. This is really how to learn to jazz in 5 minutes. Soloing wizardry without jazz. Jazz in your hand. Frank Gambale. There we go. If you like sucking, don't click this. Oh, man. That's... Oh, brother. That's pretty perfect pitch in one video. Oh, brother. What they don't teach you at Berkeley. Gent jazz. Oh, God. Oh, brother. Brother. The one tip that had all music teachers panicking. Learn all theory in just 5 minutes. Okay. Follow the chords and you won't believe what happened next. Wait a minute. Why Nickelback? Why Nickelback are better than you think? Oh, man. What Oh, my God. This is... Oh, man. You guys are great. This is really... That's impressive. These are gold. Wow. Wow. Man, that is... Keep going. Use negative harmony with your nose, okay? Wow. How the Beatles invented gent. Did Holdsworth use a capo? Oh, brother. Oh. Oh, my God. That is pretty unbelievable. Wow. Where was this a couple hours ago? Play like Hendrix in 12 seconds. Oh, man. Oh, oh man. Cowboy chords for the mentally challenged. Thrash metal jazz. Oh man. That is really, really unbelievable. Oh man. One click method for isolating tracks. There you go. The secret to isolating tracks. Okay, maybe I need to do that video. I'm going to show you how to isolate tracks. And then I just hit the solo button. Oh, man. Never use these notes. Basil, you're right. These will actually work. No, that's actually true. Never use these notes. One reason why you haven't won a Grammy. How to be pretentious to wear a muumuu. Tom, isolation track video. That's great. 12 notes you should never play if you suck. Oh man. Why you should never play sharps or flats. I like that. The Beato plugin revealed. The isolator plugin revealed. How to get six-pack abs playing arpeggios. Jeez. Man. Wow. This is pretty ridiculous. What's up, Peter? Peter, you got to scroll back and read the comments. This is the funniest live stream that I've ever done out of hundreds in the last year and a half. Man, wow. This is really insanely impressive, I got to say. Trump chords for dummies. Secrets of the B sharp major scale. Jazzercise for lazy musicians. Accidentals on purpose. Epilepsy, jazz improv. Oh, brother. Increased testosterone on the fretboard. How to change a sun's temperature by playing Dream Theater. Jeez. Oh, man. That is pretty unbelievable. I wonder if I can just go like this. All copy and then put that in a text file here. I'm going to do this here. I know it stays with the chat here, but I want to see if it'll actually put it in the put it in a text file. How to grow your hair playing jazz. Man, that's pretty ridiculous. That is pretty ridiculous. Oh, how to avoid UMG takedowns. Brother. Let's see. It didn't paste it in. Why wouldn't it paste it in, I wonder? Man. What jazz players don't want you to know. See, that kind of stuff. Honestly, why can't I ever think up a clickbait title like that? Jazz and other dating tips. I mean, shut up and listen to the music. How to do jazz with these two chords. Robert, that would, seriously, how to do jazz with only two chords. I mean, oh man. I mean, unfortunately, that this is really, man, it's a skill set all on its own. It is, honestly. It's really, it is really a skill set. Clickbait takes talent. Okay, so, I mean, it's sad, but this stuff will work. Tyler, you're totally right. You're 100%. I actually just downloaded the whole chat right now. I put it in a text file. So it's man, how to make your first million without getting out of bed. Brother. Okay, so obviously it's in the title. What jazz players don't want you to know. As seen on TV. Jazz killed my marriage. There we go. Oh, man. But how come you guys are all better at making clickbait titles? Why can't I think of a title like that? Oh, my God. I mean, that is just ridiculous. But wait. Come on, you guys must have clicked on a lot of clickbait videos to know all these. Wow. It's unbelievable. The flat four Lydian. I mean, honestly, I probably could have learned how to jazz with one weird trick. Jazz players hate this guy. Oh my God. Listen to Nickelback's unreleased jazz record. What was the Nickelback one? I forgot. What was that one? That was what was the Nickelback one that I loved there? What Nickelback what was it about Nickelback? Why Nickelback is better than you thought they were? Why Nickelback is better than you what was it? Why Nickelback is better than you think? Oh my God. This is a Nickelback free video. Honestly, any one of these titles, and all seriousness aside, I agree with this. That any one of these would have gotten better, more clicks than than my video. Shows who you really are. Just want to share your notes. Charles, I want people to watch these things because I think they're important. And I'm thinking to myself, why don't people click on these videos that are, you know, where I'm giving up the most information? You know, look, for me to write, and this is not, you know, for me to write down and count out a Tool song or something like that it's so easy. I mean, no offense to Tool, but this stuff is, you know, and all this rock stuff is just baby stuff. I hate to say it. I mean, I love doing it. I love rock music. I love production. That's why I did it for so many years. I'm a rock guy, you know, but to me, the whole purpose of my channel is to actually teach people something so that music can, you know, so that I can, you know, You know, one of the reasons I wanted to get out of producing is that I wanted to stop being part of the problem. I worked with some great bands, but you know, what's the percentage of great bands that I worked on? Probably, you know, it's probably the same as what is the percentage of bands that are successful. It's about, what, 4%, 10%, let's say even. So Rich just said, on a serious note, you think you should have a video channel for people who buy your books. This is exactly what this video is tonight. It's for people that buy my books. This is the kind of video that built my channel, is the informational video that's actually a teaching video. And that's a you know. So anyways, that's kind of what the purpose of this whole thing was to, you know, I had been part of the problem for so many years, making a living, working with things that, you know, with things I shouldn't have done or that I needed to do to make a living, to feed my family. And I didn't want to be part of the problem anymore. So, these are the kind of things I made these videos on, in hopes that someday, people would say, wow, I can go here. You know, when people say, Subi Doo said, he left a comment that I responded to immediately. He was asking about, he asked a question. He said, are there any other good videos? Or there's a comment in there about, oh, there's other videos. You can go look up on YouTube. There's other videos that talk about this. And this wasn't the thing Subi said. There was a comment before him. And I said, there's 25 videos on my channel that talk about this. You don't need to go to Wikipedia and look it up. Because somebody was talking about using a harmonic major scale or harmonic minor scale over the, over the G7 chord, right? And which would be, you know, Phrygian major, right? It's a mode of the harmonic minor scale. Well, I have a whole video on it. You know, it's not only do I have a video, but I wrote a whole piece on it. And as I did on every single scale. Another thing. So, for those of you that got the email with the updated, you know, with the Beato book, how many of you got the 2.1 first correction? How many of you got my 2.1 version of my book that have my book right now? Joe, you got 2.1. Okay. Well, there's a 2.2 that I haven't put out yet. I want to explain something about it. So Christian that put the book together had we couldn't figure out the way that he did it. We couldn't figure out the way that when he did it, how I could proofread it, because we didn't have the program to edit the book here. And I didn't get a copy of the entire book from Christian until this past weekend. So I thought, I'm going to put out the book now. This is the beauty of it, because we just put out updates to it as we go through and find things. The whole back half of the book that Michelle and I did here, has all been checked. But part of the problem with the Christian was pulling from 3 different programs to put the book together. And now Carol and I have figured out how we can edit the book. So we've been doing the corrections as they as they've been coming in, and we went through and worked on it for a few hours today, and there were some things that in the translation of the program, there were some Christian's German and certain words that didn't come out correctly. I mean, there's just some of the things that weren't that some of the symbols didn't translate. Thomas, how do you know which version? It's 2.1 is the latest version. So 2.2 will be ready it'll be ready next week. And forward is demure. Forward is not the forward; it's the introduction. So the forward. So that has been changed. There were some. Thomas, don't print it and bind it yet. Wait till we get through. It should be pretty. It's probably about the first. I want to say we've been through the first 100 pages or so. We got to get through about 150 pages to get up to. Yes, German keyboards are different. That's why we have. That's why there's some. What's up, Brett? That's why there's some issues. Issues with it. Do some video on how to read the diagrams. Yes, the triad diagrams are. I did them in a specific way. I could have oriented them. I could have oriented them differently, and I still can, which is easy to, obviously easy to do. So, I'd say probably next week we'll do 2.2, and I'd say probably by 2.5 everything will be really. I mean, no, by next week we should have most of it. Probably by 2.2. When by the time we put that out, we'll have pretty much most of the stuff cleaned up. So, but we literally did not know how to do this until the last 2 days or so. But we got it all sorted now. So, yeah, Brett, you need to go back and watch the beginning of this video. It's the funniest. It's the funniest live show that we've ever had on here. You got to read the comments. Oh my God. Unbelievable. So, all right. So don't get me wrong. Let me go back to the thing I was talking about with rock. Robert asked if I lived in New York City. I used to live in New York City, but I live in Atlanta. So I really enjoy the thing about doing these. What makes this song great is that it's the first time in my entire channel that I've been able to do music production videos and songwriting and I never could figure out how to incorporate them because every video I did, with the exception of how to tune your toms like a pro, which got a couple 100,000 views, how to tune your snare like a pro, how to tune your kick drum like a pro. Those did really well because drummers can't tune their drums, typically. But most of my production videos got nothing. So this is a way, doing these things has been really fun because I've gotten to engage in music production stuff. Plus the fact that I've had all these multi-tracks forever and I never went through any of them, honestly. I made sessions for them, But you know, and here's the thing: Subi just said he watched the double miking video today. If I had known this stuff when I first started, if there was YouTube, there was no YouTube when I started producing. My YouTube was my assistant Ken going in the live room at Tree Sound where we used to work out of when there was a big producer in there, a big engineer, and going in after hours with his video camera and filming all the mics that they used and filming the console, which he could have gotten fired for. And so we would come back and he'd say, oh, check this out. This is what he's using on this. This is what he's using on this. You know, all these big engineers and stuff, people whose records I loved listening to. Industrial espionage. Right, exactly. So it kind of comes back to this one. This is interesting. So there's a producer. His name's Ben Gross. He's a rock producer. He did. He owns a studio out in L.A. He worked with bands. He mixes a lot, but he's produced like a band Filter, and he mixed a band called Red that has great sounding records. He's mixed a lot of kind of heavy rock bands. And I was living here in '96, and my old roommate Rich said, he said, I got you a gig filling in for a bass player, and the band is on A&M Records. I said, okay. And he's like, you need to fly to the band is the producer of the record's going to fly you to his studio. The label's going to fly you to the producer's studio, and you're going to do a rehearsal, and then you're going to play with the band in a couple days. I said, okay. So they fly me up to Detroit, and this is 1996, and coffee show Rick Beato Latte Live. So I fly up to Detroit, rent a car, go to the studio, and I come up to this square building that's all cinder block with no windows, like kind of like an industrial building, but you wouldn't usually see a building like this. It was really odd. A building with no windows, you know. I mean, it had some windows in the front of it, but so I come in and Ben, who I knew his production work because he had just done the Filter Short Bus record that had Hey Man, Nice Shot on it. And I go in, and the band was called, oh, brother. I want to say it was a one-word name. I can't even remember now. So I'll think of it in a minute. I know the drummer was the band was from Boston, and the drummer was the program director at the biggest alternative station in Boston. Really influential, important station. And he was a killer drummer, and his name was Paul. I remember that. And they had incredible demos that I'd listened to. I really liked the songs. I had never heard of the band before. So I go into this thing. I meet the guys, and I meet Ben. So I'm in the studio for 3 days, and Ben's got all this stuff mic'd up. WBCN, I think that's what it was. What is the band's name? They were at a major label. The record didn't do anything. I bet if you looked up Ben Gross, stuff that he produced around 96 or so, if you got on All Music, you could find the name of the band. I want to say it was one word. WBCN, Boston. I think the alternative station, right? I want to say it was 2006, 1996. So anyways, so I go in there. I don't know anything about recording, right? And I see Ben's got all these cabinets mic'd up. He's got 357s on it. He's got the Tom's top and bottom mic'd. He's got all this stuff. And I was like, okay, I don't know anything about this. So we're sitting around after rehearsing and stuff, and I start asking him questions. I said, so tell me about how you mic things. You got all these microphones. I mean, I'm totally dumb with this stuff. Know nothing about it. I was the guy in the band that couldn't set up the PA system. I had to wait for the other guys to show up. And I've discussed Lenny Bro, but I don't have Lenny Bro videos. So I saw that about 10 times here. I'll talk about Lenny Bro eventually, not tonight. I'll do a video on Lenny Bro. I love Lenny Bro. So anyway, so the guy Ben was probably thinking, okay, this guy's an idiot, this kid. So I said, so what are the mics that you use on the Toms? I noticed you have mics on the top and bottom. He goes, oh, well, the mic on the top is a AKG 414. It wasn't Republica, no. AKG 414. And Ron, thank you for that. Actually, just ignorant, not dumb. No one taught me yet. Right, exactly. So he said AKG 414. I had a notebook, and I write it down. Then I say, well, what's the mic on the bottom? He says a Sennheiser 421. Or he says a 421. I said, who makes that? And he said Sennheiser. And he's thinking, oh, brother, give me a break. This guy doesn't know his Sennheiser 421 other than Orbit is the band, Joe. You found it. That's the band, Orbit. Thank you. Of course, Joe found it. Yes! Orbit. So this guy's thinking, okay, this guy's an idiot. So I'm going to tell him stuff. I'm going to tell him everything. So I asked him, what mic's in the kick drum, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have a camera or anything. I couldn't. But I filled up my whole notebook with mics, how he mic'd everything. I made diagrams and stuff like that. So when I started producing a few years later, I had to learn, after our disastrous drunk producer experience, I decided to, I started working on my own, and I found this notebook. And this is all Ben Gross's miking techniques. So I go through it, and I try this miking setup. Now, to have these mics and top and bottom mic, the Toms, Paul Buckley, that's the guy. Yes. Paul Buckley. Oh, his kit was a snare and a floor tom and a crash ride. That was it. Well, kick, snare, floor tom, and a crash ride. And he had such good time. It was incredible. He was a great drummer. So, and I was shocked what a good drummer he was. I figured, the guy's in the band because he's on the biggest alternative station in Boston, and the band's going to get heavy airplay on it. And he had like an 18-inch floor tom or something, 24-inch kick, something like that. It was a big kick and snare, but no. Okay, so anyway, so Ben's up and bottom miking the Toms. And he told me flip the phase and everything. Okay, so one of the sessions that Ben came in to do was at Tree Sound. So he came into Tree Sound. This is 4 years later after I'd met him in 1996. So he says, he comes in, he's doing a studio tour, and he comes into the room I was using. And I was using this room, the C studio at Tree, that had a Neve console in it. It was just in an office that had been converted, but it was Dave Cobb, who's a producer in Nashville that's had a lot of success in country. It was Dave's Neve. And Dave was a really good friend of mine because I produced his band. So Ben comes in, he looks at me, says, "You look really familiar." I said, "Yeah, I came by your studio back in 1996, and I got to tell you that, I'm a producer now, and the things I learned from you were incredible, and I want to thank you." He said, "Oh man, no problem." Now I've later found out that Ben was the most secretive guy. He never he never would tell anyone anything. And I know people that worked with him later, and they said, wait, Ben Gross told you how he mics stuff? I said, yeah. I just asked him questions. I think he figured I was so dumb that he would just tell me anything. And it's like, well, this guy's never going to do anything. So anyways, they were recording Seven Dust, actually. He did one of the Seven Dust record at Tree Sound. So, oh, and by the way, Rival Sons is the name of my old band. I was in a band called Rival Sons 25 years ago, and Dave stole the name for Rival Sons. How do you like that? So anyways, so what the session that Ken went in to film, my assistant went in to film was the one of the sessions was that's when Ben was recording, and I saw the Animosity was the record, Joe, exactly. I saw the mic set up there, and I said, wait a minute, this is what reminded me, this is how it worked. I said, wait a minute, I have Ben's exact mic set up. And I went back home, and I found the notebook. I said, check this out. He's like, oh my God, it's exactly the same. Because we were thinking 414 on the top, 421 on the bottom. And I said, this is really, I said, I worked with him before, or I went to his studio, and this is how he mics stuff. So anyway, so we started doing that, and that's how I always mic'd drums when I first started. I would double mic the toms because he did it, and they sounded great. So took up a lot of mic pre's though. When I found Brendan O'Brien did it, I saw him. Brendan only used a Y cable, okay, and he did the 421 on the top and the 57 on the bottom. It gives you a complete picture of the drum. You typically will top and bottom mic a snare drum, but people don't think necessarily to top and bottom mic a tom. So anyway, so this is that experience there, going to work with Orbit to do these rehearsals and spending those 3 days at Ben's studio and being really dumb. But I'm the guy that wants to learn everything, right? I got to know everything. It's like, why are you miking the speakers with 3 different mics? Why are they at different angles? And I was fascinated. So, wait, when you use a Y cable, the mic element's wired in series or parallel. So the Y cable goes down. So the 2 cables are out of phase with each other. So it's one XLR cable that's just been pulled apart. One of they're both, what would they be? Both female XLRs, okay? Going to a male XLR. So the 2 female XLRs are wired out of phase with each other. And they will typically point, they're the same distance from I put them the same distance from the head, just a couple inches away. I have it in my double miking video, kind of. I have that double miking video that Subi, I think, was talking about that I did, that I guess, so it's parallel, right? That's what it would be. And it uses one mic pre and it's self-EQs. The thing that Ben did, he ran them to separate preamps. Now, one of the reasons that I don't do a 414 with a 421 on the bottom is because I don't want some drummer bashing my 414s. But when I worked at Tree Sound, they're a studio, and that's so Ben used them, and I used them. So anyways, so I was obsessed with engineering. I was probably more at the engineering part of production. Actually, was to me the most challenging and interesting. I don't know why. I loved mixing. I loved tracking because I loved sound recording creation EQ, compression, things like that. I love it's really I don't know, it's stimulating to my mind because it's is it a homemade wire? Martin asks about the I assume you're asking about the Y cable that I have. The Y cable I had made by a company called Redco. It's the science, like Ron says. It's the science of it. I love the science. I love trying to find the stuff that sounds great in the mix. Now, these What Makes This Song Great series, it's as much about how parts work together and the sounds of them. Because all the songs I'm playing are famous songs that have been, that have so much social proof on them, if you'll call it that, that, you know, a song like Every Breath You Take that has, you know, 5 million plays on the radio since 1984 is, you know, when you listen to the tracks, they sound amazing, you know. There's, so I was listening to Roundabout today, which I'd never listened to. By Yes, I had that. I've had the session. I've never listened to it. Never turned it on once. And I'm playing it for Carol, and I was like, listen to that bass sound. Now, Carol was she did, she's not here. I'm going like that. She's going towards her chair. She'd never heard Roundabout. She'd never heard of Yes. She's 21 years old, of course, 22. Of course, she never heard of Yes. And she's like, wow, this is a really weird song. And I said, yeah, and she said, this was on the radio? I said, yeah. She goes, what? It's so weird. And I said, yeah, I know. There's this movement, progressive rock in the 70s that had these, you know, really songs like this. And she said, wait, they would play that whole song? It's like 6 minutes long. I said, yeah. Wait, what's this, Monty? You're like, whose sounds better than mine? What is that? I don't know what you're talking about, Monty, but you're in timeout. There you go. You're like, his sounds better than mine. What does that mean? I just put him in timeout. Anyways, Chris Squire. So the bass sounds, where is that session? I'm going to play a little bit of it here. Hopefully it won't take my video down. So I was listening to that, and I was listening to In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel. I don't know if In Your Eyes is a blocker, if Peter Gabriel's a blocker or not. No idea. So Roundabout, you know, people have been talking about Yes, do a Yes one, right? And it's pretty amazing because I was thinking about the bass, how, you know, obviously Geddy Lee's bass sound. Oh, it's so dirty. Hold on. Okay, we're not gonna lose the video because they're not gonna get it from that. That is definitely Rickenbacker. That's really, really, that really is that is an aggressive tone. That's fun, right? I know, Chris. Oh, it's so dirty. It sounds so great. It's so tight. It sounds like it's been Pro Tooled to death. Like you couldn't even, you know, it's like played like a machine. Yeah, so I'm not going to play anything else. I won't try to play play the song here, but I won't get dinged for that. I'm sure. I hope I don't. No, they won't be able to tell that. Oh, and Rick Wakeman's keyboard parts. Oh man, they're smoking on that. They sound so good too. That bass was not for adults. We need to get to the chorus in 19 seconds. I know. So that song is. Let's see how long it is here. At least in Pro Tools, it's. Is it possible? It's 8 minutes and 47 seconds, something like that. You'd like to hear it through the console you're sitting in front of. I'm going to, well, you will hear it. I'm going to do a video on it. Anyways, so, yeah, so she was hearing that for the first time today. Which I just thought was amazing, you know. Do I have a console? I don't have a console. YouTube has one at, I just have separate mic pre's. YouTube has one at 836. Okay. But I was explaining to her, I said, oh, you can't believe how much this got played. This got played all the time. And she was just shocked that, an 8-minute song would get on the radio like that. With incredibly long solos too, right? Anyways, yes, Carol, I'm talking about, Ray. Never heard of Yes, never heard Roundabout till today. Roundabout length 829. There you go. With a single edit, they always used to weird arrangement and harmonies. Tom says you're totally right. Sheena says folk music is your favorite genre. The recording techniques are very simple, nothing fancy. That's not necessarily true, because a lot of folk music, a lot of acoustic music uses very high, very, very high, really detailed recording, for really top acoustic music. You get some of the best recording with really sophisticated mic pre's, microphones, miking, things like that. I listened to the Dixie Chicks Home record, which is their second record, which is phenomenal sounding. There's not a drum on it, and yet it grooves so well because the players, Natalie Maines' dad produced it, and it sounds phenomenal. And the rhythm playing, there's not a buzz note, the bass, upright bass, all the stuff is just recorded incredibly well. But or Chris Thiele's, some of the Alison Krauss records that just, incredibly well recorded. Somebody asked, what was Bear from Need to Breathe's vocal chain? Oh man, we use different stuff for different records. Sometimes I'd use a condenser mic and a dynamic mic at the same time, right next to each other, so that when he sang, he would be singing into both microphones. When he would do get on vowel sounds, E sounds where he'd close his throat, his vocal would be so harsh, and he's such a great singer, but his vocal, it would be, we called him the knife. That's what I called him. Nickel Creek, thank you. And it was just brutal. So I would switch over to the dynamic mic on that. Sometimes it'd be a 57. Sometimes it'd be a Shure SM7. Usually through a Neve. Although the first record I did with them, I recorded his vocals through a Avalon 737. I thought it softened that a bit. But the next two records we used a Neve 1073 or 1084, depending on what we had. With always changing the compression settings. Oh man, I would ride the compressor. His voice was so dynamic. I'd be on there knowing where he's going to jump out and hit some notes, because I didn't want his voice. He would do takes that were so great. I wouldn't want him to be crushing the compressor and it's yeah. So I know the Avalon 737. Some people love, most people hate on it. The reason that they hate on it and that I got rid of them is because the company in around 2002, I don't know what happened, but they might have changed. They did something where their customer service got really bad. People that wanted to get their amps retubed by them, you'd send them back and they would retube them and go over them. And then it got to be the point where you couldn't even get in touch with the people. And Distressor 1176, both. So when I would do, on the first record I did, I remember I used the 737 into a Distressor. And the 737 has a compressor, an opto compressor, that's so slow that you can't even hear it engage, which is great. But it would slow down the transients. And then the Distressor I'd set it's at a 6-to-1 ratio, and that would catch the peaks. So I'd get any quick gain reduction would get caught by that. Anything it would get slowed down by the opto compressor in the 737. And then the Distressor, anything that got through really fast peaks would get caught by the Distressor. And then later on, it would be an 1176. And honestly, I'd put a Distressor after the 1176. Because Distressor, you can really get in and fine-tune it. Let's see here. Tom, you've been experimenting with odd times during your side chaining. Oh, cool. Awesome. That's great. Steve Howe hates Owner. Well, he didn't play on it, I guess, right? Didn't Trevor? That was his thing. Do I use Leslie organs for guitars much in production? I have a Leslie, but I don't. And I've used it. I've recorded a bunch of times. When I worked with Trey from Fish, he had a Leslie that we recorded, all the time. He used it all the time, and so I used it for that. You need to retube your UA LA2A plugin. Anyways, so that's so that is interesting. Tips for serial composition. I think the serial composition videos are going to do about as well as my my improv video I did today. Thanks, Body Knowledge. NDA, Bill. It was, yes, Trey from Fish, Ron. I spent 4.5 months with him. NDA. Am I okay? I'm doing great. Anyways, somebody tell something about mystical sidechaining. Oh, just go and watch. What's NDA? Non-disclosure agreement. Anyways, all right, I'm good for tonight. This has been amazing. I don't want the video to get pulled down. Yes, I use parallel compression. I've used it plenty of times. I mean, for years and years and years. Ron, you were kidding. Okay. Um, so we're good. This has been the funniest. The first 30 minutes of this video were the funniest that has ever been on either of my channels. If any of you came in late, go watch the beginning. Maybe it's 20 minutes when with all the clickbait titles. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm going to go change that title and I'm going to see if it does anything. Can I cook? No. All right, so we're all good. You guys are awesome.